Welcome to Tabletop Arcana. My name is Justin, and I've got a special preview video brought to us by Chip Theory Games. They were kind enough to send over their brand new 20-strong crossover decks for Tainted Grail, Nemesis, and Etherfields. Now, these are originally Awaken Realms games, and they're big, they're boxy, they're long, they're very immersive. And Chip Theory Games takes that and boils it down to decks of cards for their 20-strong system. Now, the 20-strong system, if you're not familiar with it, you get dice, a chip that'll either be a number chip or possibly a color chip, but depending on the deck and your needs of the game. And in the end, beautiful PVC plastic cards that are durable, flexible, and honestly, don't even need sleeves. Now, these are prototypes that they provided me, so they are not final quality, but art is in place, game mechanics are in place, so it's good enough to take a look at. And honestly, this could be a final product for most other companies. So let's take a look at what 20 Strong is doing with Awaken Realms. First, let's take a look at Tainted Grail. Now, Tainted Grail, original game, is this big, long narrative, grim, dark vibes, and kind of a medieval dystopia might be the best way I can describe it. The 20-strong version of the deck takes it into more of a boss battler, so you'll have a big enemy that you're working towards powering up to defeat. Playing Tainted Grail, enemies are always dogging you and always going to be something that is dangerous, and they are no different in this 20-strong version. The action cards will link to each other, giving you interesting combos as you play cards out, but the enemies will do the exact same thing, causing you some grief and harm. Ultimately, it does lose a little bit of that narrative vibes that Tainted Grail really has going for it, but the combat and the devastating way it plays out really does capture what Tainted Grail feels like to me. There are 6 different bosses to face. There are many heroes to play as, and each hero comes with a unique card in your combat deck. So each time you play, a tenth of your deck is already going to be mixed up if you're playing a different hero. The special trick on the enemies, not the boss, is they come out of 4 different decks, and with the 20-strong system, dice are color-coded. So you could only apply damage on dice that match the deck of that enemy. So that is a very challenging way to turn the combat system of 20-strong on its head and keep it in line with the Tainted Grail feel. So, Tainted Grail. Next, let's talk about Etherfields. Etherfields and the core game has this campaign, ever-evolving, ever-changing dreams and nightmares feel for it, and you're going to get a very similar feel, not only through the art, but some of the game mechanics in this 20-strong version of it. Your hero starts in a regular version. You might be able to flip that card over and get a Lucid Dreamer. Again, you are working towards a boss fight, but you're approaching it differently than you are with Tainted Grail. Well, Tainted Grail is trying to power you up. This one, you're trying to explore so that you can find that boss and potentially actually do some damage and beat it. So you have a little bit more of an exploration of the dreamscape going on. Now, the other thing you will see in these cards is they will have an A side and a B side to them. In your very first game of Etherfields 20 Strong, you are going to have your entire deck set to the A side. Every card is going to have the A side flipped up and face up. As you play, you will find ways to flip those cards on the other side, whether it be an enemy that's doing it, maybe an item's doing it, but you're going to find ways to change the deck by flipping from A to B. Now, this might turn one enemy, such as the car thief, into an item, or it may turn one enemy into a completely different type of enemy, or it might take one of your player cards and turn it into something much more devastating. All you're doing is you're manipulating the deck from A side to B side, changing what you're going to experience and what you're going to encounter. What I find is most fascinating is at the end of that game, win, lose, however it ends for you, you maintain that deck in that state. So whatever is flipped to B stays B. Whatever was on A stays in A. And you gather up the cards, put them away. Next time you play, that is the same deck state that your game is in. Every time you play Etherfields 20 Strong, your deck is evolving. Some cards will stay on A, some will flip to B. Maybe the next time you're playing, some of those B cards will flip back to their A side. You never know what you're going to really encounter with it. And I find it fascinating that you're going to be able to play this game over and over and over and have different things happen because that deck is never going to be in the same state ever again. And if you ever do want to reset it, flip everything to A side, you can go right back from the start again if you really want to. Last but not least, in the triad of 20 strong crossover with Awaken Realms is Nemesis. Core Nemesis is a wonderful multiplayer game because you have this semi-co-op vibe of everyone's got some hidden objectives. What are they? Are they trying to screw the group over, or are they trying to just maybe get some data on those pesky invaders and make it home? This is no different, and it does one thing that no 20 strong deck does before it. It adds multiplayer. You can play up to 3 players with a 20 strong Nemesis. Best part of it is you still only need 1 core box of your 20 strong dice and chip because everybody's sharing the same dice pool, and all you're really doing is moving and tracking with your stat die where your health is and where you are on the Nemesis ship. This does have a strong exploratory component as you are exploring a grid of the ship, finding rooms. Your objectives are going to try to tell you which rooms you want to turn on and be active. You're going to need to find the escape pods, turn on the generators, turn on the engines to turn on the generators in order for you to actually escape the ship alive. Now, the self-destructive sequence is going to be starting and counting down, so you only have so much time to complete your objectives. At a certain point in the game, much like regular Nemesis, you're going to have to pick which objective card you're working towards. Enemies are going to show up. At first, they kind of loom in the shadows, but if you make too much noise, they're going to find you, and they're going to make your day worse. The 20 strong Nemesis has a strong component of the first game, having that semi-co-op vibe. It has a lot of similar things going on as you're exploring the ship, trying to find the rooms that you need to find, and ultimately just trying to survive and get out of there. So my final thoughts for the 20 strong Nemesis, Etherfields, and Tainted Grail decks is we are taking a beautiful games, distilling them down to a small deck form, albeit using a different game mechanic to power it, but we're not losing the essence of these games. We're just making it a little more streamlined, definitely more portable, and a lot faster to play. All 3 of them keep some of those original essences alive. We have brutal combat out of Tainted Grail. We have suspicion and doubt and looming tension in Nemesis, and a little bit of what's going on, we're not sure, and it ever keeps changing, ever keeps evolving out of Etherfields. I'm going to be very excited to get these decks in their final form because, honestly, these sample cards that was sent along from Chip Theory Games are beautiful, they're durable, and honestly, it's going to be a great game and great experience to keep going with. Now, I'll be picking up my set. Are you going to? Let me know. They are going to be on Gamefound for now. Might be in a late pledge if you find this video later. And possibly, if it's even more later than that, might be available through the Chip Theory Games website. I'd like to thank the Chip Theory Games for sending over these prototype copies for myself to check out. And I'll be watching the Gamefound campaign, cheering you along the side. So, thanks for watching, and happy gaming.